QRM Office 5521, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 23 August 2021, second round. We are doing another control test, quite simple, quite clear. We had the access to the internet and digital space, for instance. It doesn't matter which will be the access that will have this at the provider. Now I'm using the provider as access because we have other instruments as cell phone at the local network, and this time by this illegal procedure, it looks like that you have something like this one more time. You use the Bluetooth at the cell phone to kind of cloning the number and IP which identify your machine as the router as access, and this indeed will be replaced by a number at the cell phone. For instance, I have right now, if you check, you will observe that I have two machines connected and two both are cell phones, but one had a IPv6 as connection despite I do not have the access. If you check the config at the provider, you will observe this. And in the same way, you will observe that my IP as config, which is I obtain this in an automatic way. It's kind of spread and have this identifying number by something automatic, which is provided by the holder as the company. And then you observe that I blocked this IPv6 here, but my machine got down. It means that this IPv has, looks like an inner value, which is presented as the machine, as origin, at the provider of this service as communication. You must request this by the White Collar Crime Law Brazil and all legal structures present, especially because I couldn't have my gym time until this time. My research is closed. This transference as harmful situation, considering the harmful situation against the research, the development, the result, and now the financial paper transfer. It means that we are dealing with people that do not respect the law and are acting inside, from very deep inside the public department. But you can request this information and do discharge international authority, the NATO, the FBI, the IBM, the UNICEF, the AT&T, and charge our local institution at Brazilian scenery by the distribution of geopolitical power by Article 23, Item 1, according with the area that you have. For instance, the judicial power in Rio de Janeiro that had a lot of problems concerning fraud contracts and a lot of things with people that let the time go to do not have the punishment and the application of the law against the offender, doing the violation of sports entity and a lot of things. And in the same way, at the federal level, as our federal justice, the same way we have a lot of problems in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Looks like that the local federal justice has a lot of contracts as a package that you have in the entire Brazil. And all this fraud management in the financial system, but the public institution and segment is unable to have the application of the law if they are driving the crimes and carry on and charging coalitions linked with such. Indeed, this is a trust, is an economic or international crime. But you can have all this by discharge against the institution that can be federal, that can be local as Rio de Janeiro State, or even at the county, at the city, considering the Olympic Games. All these a systematical behavior proved by the annual budget, because we always have the financial element inside, which is the interest and have the blindness association to keep the continuity of illicit advantage that you obtain or had been obtained at the budget. And after have discharged these institutions, will point the variables. The owner of the local crime scam on Rio de Janeiro, the owner of which is segmented at the justice system, the owner of the local scam at federal justice, for instance, Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo maybe, or something like this. And then you will have at the Supreme Court, for instance, are they able to present their tax declaration? I bet they don't. and you will have the entire transnational organized crime associated with local crime Brazil, which is presenting the arguments as globalization of transnational organized crime, changing and do not respect the constitution, destroying our culture, destroying our way of be and live. You know? Can you get the point, Brazil? And then you will send those individuals to jail, for instance, in America, considering that this is scheduled activity as oriented program scam, putting down the constitution and the cohesive elements that set your national and moral values of your society, which indeed are being under a destruction by variables inside those institutions that are unable to present the legal arguments and act by law because they are the criminals as itself, organized at the local area but acting according with international interests or doing the wrongdoing from the international area at the local area. It's a localization of crime. If you send all to jail after have the financial paper which allows you to have this individualization, you are not acting by blindness association. Considering the events on Europe, France, looks like, and America, Canada and Mexico 2028. This company that provides my communication is a Mexican company. Have a nice day. And we have, looks like, companies of Brazil have IPOs in America and something like this, which indeed is very close to replacement and integration of criminal result, which got storage at entities with tax immunity, have the transparency around and willing by scams, donation, crowdfunding, and a lot of things with kind of it's beyond the nonsense, the cretinism as using the financial control, element and instruments to present this kind of activity, and in the end, you consider a great thing have that deep web scam, which is a piece of this public corruption in Brazil, acting at the communication, such a clandestine level of communication with clandestine storage, clandestine transference as workflow, and physiological patterns that you have, and you consider that this is not warfare. Is it fair to our conscience? Consider the future and the next generation. Do not have your conviction, criminal authority in Brazil.